what is Far-UVC? Well, it's high energy, ultraviolet C light that can inactivate pathogens. And when it is filtered to remove longer wavelengths, it doesn't penetrate very far in human tissue. And because of that, it doesn't cause any immediate adverse effects on the body. And to our knowledge, so far that we've found out, there's no long-term adverse effects either. The first piece of evidence is that Far-UVC is very effective. And in our room-sized chamber, so it's a 32-meter cubed chamber, where there was a constant production of an aerosolized pathogen, Far-UVC lowered that pathogen load by 92%. And that's when there were 5 lamps in the room operating at 10% of their maximum intensity. Now, that would be an equivalent to an electrical consumption of just about 6 watts. And with just that 6 watts of electrical consumption, we got a 92% lowering, which was equivalent to 35 air changes per hour. Second piece of evidence is that Far-UVC gives much higher equivalent air changes than most other technologies. And in this example that you can see here, you can see these high equivalent air change values at different mechanical ventilation rates within the chamber. And these are the types of numbers that really you don't see with other technologies. The third piece of evidence really is that with Far-UV, short-range inactivation is possible. It's not great. The situation does need to be optimized. So for example, in the image shown in the slide here, the lamp has to be directly between the 2 individuals. The fourth piece of evidence that I want to present really is that Far-UVC does produce ozone, but that ozone doesn't need to be an issue, because the ozone produced, or the amount of ozone produced, depends on the amount of Far-UVC that's being used. If the lamps were just operating at 10% of their maximum intensity, which is the graph on the right here, then there was no detectable ozone measured at all. And remember, 5 lamps at 10% intensity was 35 equivalent air changes per hour. Our evidence is showing that you get very high inactivation without the measurable secondary chemistry.